Hello. Hello, 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 beautiful women of Woman Rising. It is Monday, October 7th, and I have a really important show for you today. Really important show. So, as you come on, say hello, let me know you're here. I'm truly, truly, truly honored to be with you today and happy to be with you today. So, today marks a 1 year anniversary, which I'll get into in a moment. And reflecting on this 1 year anniversary, it's not a happy anniversary, it's a really challenging one. I've been thinking about what do I need today to make it through a hard day. And I go back years ago, many Octobers ago. I had my second miscarriage. And when I had that second miscarriage, I was 43 years old, and I didn't think that there would be any chance to have a baby ever again. I had already been told at 41 that my eggs were old and that there was very, very, very little chance. I'd already tried all these different alternative means. And that October, I think it was October of 2018, maybe 17, 18, was the first time I actually called. I think the only time I actually called a support hotline in the middle of the night, like a hotline for people who feel like they're at the end of the rope and they don't know where else to go. That was where I was. And it's not that I was going to hurt myself necessarily, but I was definitely just at the end of my rope. And I needed something. And what I found on the other end of that phone call was a woman who held my hand and said, "I'm here. I've got you. Share." And she stayed on the phone with me maybe for 40 minutes, I'm not sure. And it was just someone being on the other end of that phone call. And when I dial into that time of that second miscarriage, it was truly the women who got me through it. It was friends, it was sisters who got me through it, because Josh and I were not on the same page. He got over it more quickly than I did. I I felt this loss much more deeply than he did. And so he and I were not on the same page. We were like this. But women friends, my dear friend Stacy came over and just held me, like I put my head literally on her bosom, like as if she was like a mama to me. And she just held me and stroked my hair and stroked my face for hours on end. Two of my college girlfriends flew to be with me. They were so worried that they left their own families and flew into town to be with me. In fact, when my dad just died a couple months ago, those same college friends all left their families and all flew in to be with me for a day. And this is why. This is why I create sisterhoods. And maybe you have been in this group and you've never done anything with me before. Maybe you have done and you remember the sisterhood was so strong. From the time I was a little girl, I was always a girl's girl. I loved being around girls. I loved being around, like, I just wanted girls like all the time. I wanted to be around girls. And so when I was in high school, I joined a youth group, and it was like a whole bunch of girls, and we would make posters and we would do bake sales and we would do like all these things that were like so fun, so fun, so fun. And then when I was in college, I got really into the sorority system. I actually ran Sorority Rush for all the women. It's like that is my thing. But I didn't even realize it was my thing until I got older and I was coaching women and I turned 40 and I was like, you know what would be amazing? It would be amazing if a group of 40-year-old women, like 40 somethings, if we all came together and were like, we are going to redefine midlife. We are going to be the ones who are like, this is awesome. I love myself. I love my body. I can do anything. I'm amazing. I'm powerful. I'm this. I'm that. Like, that would be the most amazing thing if we could do that. And so I held that group and I had 18 women that very first year. And this is 40. It's the only time I ever did that program. I actually renamed it to Empowered, but it was like so powerful to be in our 40s and be like, yes. And then when I went to get my master's degree in positive psychology, I actually learned what all the researchers say is the number one thing for happiness. The number one thing for happiness is the relationships that we have, is having people in our life who have our backs, having people in our life who will be there for us. Every single predictor of happiness says that it is the people, the relationships that you have. And what I find time and time again is that so many of us women, you might have friends from high school or college, or you might have, the other moms, soccer moms, or neighbors. But most women I know don't have the women around them who also want to do cool shit, who also are committed to personal growth, who also are like, yes, I want to like, be like fierce and ferocious and take on this world. I also want to like, yes, like go for it. Like women who say, yes, you can do that. Like I find most of us don't have that. And so we play small around our groups of friends. We play small. We pretend we don't have these dreams. We kind of hide it. We say, oh, yeah, I don't really want that anyway. Maybe you get together with friends and you vent about men or you vent about your kids or whatever. And those are all important things. But we need the group of women who lift us up. And that is why and I think ahead that we are coming up on the US election. And no matter who wins, first of all, we're not going to find out that day because there's going to be all sorts of absentee ballots. And then no matter who wins, I think there's going to be all sorts of like contesting and all sorts of like drama. And then there's going to be half the country because it's so divided that is upset no matter what. And we're going to have all sorts of chaos. And I'm not trying to be a downer. I just think that this is what's going to happen no matter what. And what are you going to need to get through that time? What are you going to need to stay stable? What are you going to need to stay like vibrant and alive? Well, I will tell you what I need. I need a group of women. I need women who I can be like, we've got this no matter what. Yes. And today, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but it's all kind of around the same thing. Today is the anniversary of the October 7th, the largest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust. 1 year ago today, terrorists invaded Israel. And I know you see a lot about Israel in the news, but I am here to tell you. 1 year ago today, terrorists invaded Israel and this is a trigger warning, but they mass murdered and mass raped countless women, murdered 1,200, took 250 people hostage. 3-year-olds in their Batman pajamas took them hostage. In fact, there is a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old who 1 year later are still being held in this hell hostage. What did a 1-year-old do? Nothing. And it was so jarring for me as a Jewish woman because that could have been me. My grandmother was lucky to escape the Holocaust and came to the United States. Her cousin was lucky to escape the Holocaust and went to Israel. So, like, it could have been me. I could have been there. That could be me in the tunnels. That could be me who was held hostage. That could be my son. And what did I need during that time? I needed other women. And so I got together. I contacted other women, Jewish coaches, said, let's hold something together. And we put together a program and we held a beautiful evening. We had 300 women show up. It's beautiful. And then I started a Facebook group, and there's about 300 women in that. And it's just a place for us to have a safe place to share, a safe place for us to say, I'm scared, or I'm angry, or I don't know what to do. And so no matter what is going on, and I'll share that I am doing an online vigil today at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can DM me if you want the link to that. There's so much divisiveness around this war that this is not for debate. What's happening at 3 p.m. is not for debate. This is just for people who are in mourning and the grief of what happened to Israel, to Jews. And it wasn't just Jews, it was other people as well. I mean, there's a Muslim person still being held hostage because they're terrorists. And so what does all this like get to? Why am I doing this as happy hour? I'm doing this as happy hour because I think about what I need today, and I need sisters around me loving me. That's why I'm holding this event. I think about what am I going to need around the election? I'm going to need sisters. What am I going to need? What do we need in life? We need sisters. We need sisterhood. And that is why you are going to see me for the next 3 weeks, unabashedly, unapologetically, tell you to get your booty now to Woman Rising. Woman Rising Live is happening November 2nd and 3rd in Philadelphia. It is a 2-day event with me. People spend literally, I've got Sonoma, my Sonoma retreat is coming up in a couple of weeks, and people have spent $2,500 to be there for 3 days. You can go to Woman Rising Live 2-day retreat for only $147. Like, that's insanity. Like, I should be like, it should not be allowed. But I'm doing this because I want as many women there as possible. I can take 100 women, and more than half the tickets are already sold. And you are going to need 2 days before the election, you are going to need to be around women who are up to big stuff, around women who say we will not apologize for existing, around women who will say we will not silence our voices, around women who say I am here for something bigger and more expansive and more incredible and more creative and more beautiful and like more powerful. We are going to need to be around the women and like saying yes to life. It is 2 days of like, can you imagine 2 days of just being your most unapologetic self? 2 days of saying like all the exercises to say I am not going to be apologetic, I'm going to be big, I'm going to be bold, I'm going to be like 2 days for powerful women to come together. And even if you don't feel powerful, like get yourself in that room so you feel it. 2 days of sisterhood, 2 days of loving, 2 days of hugging. Like, get yourself there. It is the most powerful, most incredible event ever. And we need it right now. The world is in chaos. Everybody I know has been through so much this year. We need it. So I want to invite you, make sure that you are going to KarenRockhind.com/Woman Rising. Join now. Like, seriously, get your bus ticket, get a plane ticket. Like, don't worry about that right now. Get your ticket to Woman Rising Live. It's $147. I've got reserved hotel rooms at a great rate. Like, just come, because what we need right now is sisterhood. And in a little bit, I'm going to gather with other sisters to hold me through this difficult anniversary day. And on November 2nd and 3rd, I'm getting together with hopefully you and 100 women. We are going to like celebrate ourselves. We're going to celebrate life, because if there's any way that I can honor the people who have lost their lives, like this war, way too many people, Jews and Palestinians and other Israelis, way too many people have lost their lives. And how do we honor people who have lost their lives, do something senseless? This is a senseless war. It didn't need to happen. How do we honor them? We honor them by living fully. There's a Jewish principle called tikkun olam, to repair the world. Each one of us has a purpose, a mission, and we honor by living our purpose, by living our mission, by speaking our voice, by being bold. And how do we do that? The only way to do that, like, this is what I'm genius at, is I'm like a success coach, right? Women who are living in their power, women who feel amazing. I'm a happiness coach, women who feel like exuberant. Like, this is what the world needs, because you will get your business going. You will get your book going. You will create the most incredible life. You will have that when you have that sense of confidence. And that's what I'm doing at Woman Rising Live. And you will have the sisterhood forevermore to support you in it. So this was from the bottom of my heart, and I want to see you there. So if you want to join the vigil today at 3 p.m. Eastern, you can send me a DM. For safety reasons, I'm not just like sending the DM to everybody. And for Woman Rising Live tickets, go to KarenRockhind.com/Woman Rising. I love you so much. Have a beautiful day. Make it a happy week. And let's be here for each other as sisters. Bye for now.